morning, champions. Welcome back to another podcast here on Champions of Tabletop. Gentlemen, Dion, Shay, the boys with me as always. How are you guys today?
Amazing.
You know, I'm good. I just got a little heartburn because I ate some really nice, but I'm good though.
Are you?
I'm so good.
Okay. Well, I'm
You sure it's heartburn?
I'm hoping
that age.
Don't you know.
Yeah, well, we pop
Okay.
off. We drop off quickly nowadays.
Okay,
so.
it's
true.
Okay, just want to make sure.
See, my heart hurts, but it's for a whole different reason. Because for those of you who may have watched, the Detroit Lions will not be playing in the Super Bowl upcoming here after a horrendous second half that took us from playing with house money and just happy to be there. And then when the halftime hit and we were up 24-7, I said, guess what? The restraints are coming off. My heart's all in. And then they stampled and trampeded all over it. And
But that was the problem right
trampled
there.
and stampeded all over it.
See, and I get slack about it because I am not. My wife actually talked to me about this. We're happy that they got to the north. I was not expecting anything. I love my Lions.
Well, I'll tell you
But I wasn't going to put that much faith in it because I know my Lions too. I love. And if they would have won, sweet. But since they didn't, sweet. It's a clean
I'll tell
slate.
you what. And obviously our last video, for those of you who watched it, we had the wonderful Donald Schultz on.
Yep.
Great video. So if you get a chance, make sure you go and like and subscribe to the video there. We were really happy to have him. And of course, I was playing sick in that one. And turned out I had a little bit of pneumonia. But like the champion, I'm here with you all tonight. So hopefully the two boys here can carry the energy of the show for tonight.
Whoa.
You want me to
Workload?
give more
Whoa.
energy?
Already busting with work-life balance?
Whoa, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I can do more energy if you really want me
we don't
to.
really want.
Maybe I was looking at Dion. For that. You just-
Don't
you
ask
just
me
be
to-
you.
no.
Okay, because I can turn it
Don't
up.
ask me to carry it anymore.
Brandon's over there cowering. He's like, I can't keep up with the Shay when he gets going there. So
Whoa!
Oh, no, I'm just happy that we finally got an intro without a religious joke.
That's fair.
we'll just leave
Praise
that alone. So with that, as we get started for this week, we've got a great show for you. But of course, before we get into it, we want to say, don't forget to like and comment on the videos. It means the world to us. That's what keeps us going every single week. We've got some great conversations coming up with some big names. But we've also had some really big ones, guys. I got to say, for the few videos that we have, we've had Jamie Stagmeyer. We've had Evan Katz. We've now had Donald Schultz. We've got some other big names lined up. So, the reality is for a channel as young as ours, I'm really proud of the talent and the industry names that we've been able to get.
I'm just proud of us, period. Like, we have gotten so many cool tidbits from people, like good insights from people. And I think, we coasting at the right level. We're right here. We're not that one plane that has a door that pops off every time. We're just in a great. We're really good. We're straight and we're just. Zoom.
We're not a Southwest Airlines, is what he's saying.
Is it Southwest?
It's
Is that
the
what it
It's
is?
Boeing.
The Boeing, whatever.
Yeah.
it was?
Yeah. We're
yeah.
not that,
Yeah.
Okay. We're not well.
and we're a little bit better than Spirit.
We're an Airbus. So,
Hey.
but no, I'm
We're
proud
knocking all
of.
the doors off.
What's that?
We're knocking all the doors off.
Knocking all this doors off.
But I'm really proud of the work you guys are doing, and it's great to be a part of this with you guys. So if you like it, of course, again, please, one last time, it means the world to us. Like, subscribe, comment. That's what really keeps us going, and it helps build the algorithm so we can keep getting some more big names to bring to you and tell you their stories and really inform you on the industry.
And make sure you hit that bell because then you'll be notified when we do all our different videos because we're going to have different videos soon.
That's a promise. That's now on tape. So if Shay doesn't, I want to hear about it in the comments. So with that, of course, we've got to thank our partners of the week, which this week we've got Voss Media, Board Game Cafe here in Galesburg, Michigan. And so thank you, Dion, for hosting us as always.
Love it.
If you're in the area, please
Yes.
stop by and say hi to Dion and the team here. With that said, we're going to go to comments. We're just blowing through today. Comments of the week. So we, again, off of our Donald Schultz video, we had some great comments. Nurgle Matthew 893 said, "Looking good, team." I gotta say, a 4K video was one of our first 4Ks. I thought it looked great. So good job to Brandon and everybody who works on that. Matt McTwenty says, hilarious, funniest video in a while. I'd agree. Donald was absolutely hilarious.
It was funny.
He was a really good guest to have.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed having him on his.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll come back and see us maybe when he's ready to announce whatever he's working on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he is an amazing person and great to have around. So
he fit real well.
yeah, perfect.
Perfectly.
I can't wait to enjoy Gen Con with him after his promises.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We just won't tell my wife about that, but yeah. So DL McDonald says, or DLMCD says, very entertaining episode. Don Schultz is a great addition for this group. So, yep, I totally agree with that. BBYRAES, I think I spelt that wrong. He says, another good video. Thank you, BBYRNES. Portland Mike says, does Board Game with Life come up in this episode? So if you watch it, yes, it does. We do talk to Donald about that. And then in the upcoming Tabletop Tales I did with him, where we kind of tell his backstory, he does tell the story of how he got into that and how it came about. So a lot more in depth about his history and his experience with that podcast.
Yeah, we didn't want to go over I didn't want to step on your toes, right, with what you've got going on there. There was a lot more in-depth questionings I wanted to ask him personally as well, being a fan of his and a board game fan. But I didn't want to go over what you've already been going over with him, especially after just doing it back-to-back. So I can't wait to watch your Tabletop Tale so I can get those questions answered, hopefully.
Yeah, he went into some really good depth, even to the start of his life and where he was born.
Wow.
So
Nice.
it was a cold winter night.
It was a cold winter night. More energy.
Is that what it is? Gotcha.
Thanks, Shaq.
Thanks,
Gotcha.
Shane.
I need my hype man for tonight.
There it is.
So Brian Circle 304, one of our faithful commenters said, maybe I'm wrong is a shirt Dion needs. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, because I always say maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am. I don't know. I think I'm right. I'm always right. I don't know if anybody else is following. First official shirt of Champions. Maybe I should get a shirt down and put on the back. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yes, I got you.
Maybe I'm Dion. Maybe I'm not.
And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to Fall on the Sword. So, Shay, I'm going to leave it up to you to go first and see if you can get the right answer for Fall on the Sword.
I know I fell on the sword for some reason. Oh, I know. Because I had a dream and I had a vision on something that could have been cool if we had all the equipment that in my head I thought we had, but we didn't. Because I tried to do a drawing thing and it was going to be the
That's what we're
Feet
talking
to the
about.
fire.
Oh, God.
And I thought in my head, this is perfect. And it didn't work whatsoever.
This segment needs to be changed from fall onto shore to fall off a cliff after that segment. That was rough.
It was
That was
not
bad.
my work.
Shay,
No one saw
I
it, though.
appreciate
No one saw it?
Nobody saw it. No.
The
Oh,
amazing
perfect.
editing. Just there was.
it got
Oh,
cut.
no one
It
saw
got
it.
It was
cut.
bad. Thank you.
And it
good
should have got
call.
cut because that was.
It was a good, I mean, I like the effort. You were thinking outside of the box.
It just didn't work right.
It, you know,
I like
But
the
there
effort.
are. I have a better. I thought about it, and I know how to make it work next time. And it's not have
God,
nothing
no.
to do with paper here because you could do it digitally through Discord. So I could have done that, except for this, and I didn't do that. And I'm so sorry, but I got y'all.
okay, well,
2 more episodes.
comment if you want to see that. Or comment if you don't.
6 seasons in the
comment
movie.
you-
Got it.
So, Dion, anything for you?
Falling on the sword?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the last 3 or 4 episodes.
I have. That's
okay?
why I was
So
swinging it to
listen,
you.
for the last 3 or 4 episodes, I have been damn near untouchable. Okay? I have been right on my game. In fact, you might have pneumonia, but my back hurts from carrying this team. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention.
No, Dan, your back hurts from age.
That too. No, that is true. That is true. He's right. It's my back does hurt from age. Same thing.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of one for you, but
Probably. I'm sure
to
there-
not pick
listen,
on you a little
Listen,
bit.
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But
you are. But to save face for the show, so we don't insult guests, I'll leave that one alone.
Thank you.
But with that, then we'll go ahead and move on to industry news. a great opportunity for us to share some of the big events and notable information that's coming out in the board game industry. So with that, let's go ahead and go to our first topic. And guys, I've alluded to this a lot, but man, over the last few days, there has been a lot of information coming out about this. And this pertains, of course, to Mythic games. You guys know how I feel about Mythic games. And I've kind of held back, but the gloves are coming off today. It's time to throw some punches because once again, they find themselves in public disarray as an utter failure and a joke of a company. What has effectively happened now is they had 2 additional Kickstarters, Hell, the Last Saga, and of course, Anastair. Thankfully, I did not back either of those 2 games.
But you're still on the line for like Rainbow Six,
Rainbow
right?
Six.
Yeah.
But that one is actually printing right now and getting close to shipping. So I do have hope of that, but I've got Monster Apocalypse, which is just a reprint. We talked about this with Donald Schultz, but it's a reprint, and I don't think I'm ever going to see it, which is insulting. But Anastair is one I almost backed because it looked really good. And I got to tell you, after reading some of the information, I want to kind of share some of the information that has come out on this in terms of what they are doing to all of the backers. Now, keep in mind, these games are not cheap anymore. We're not talking go to the friendly local game store and buy $30 games here. We're talking about what's that?
What game store you go? You going to like Myers or,
No, there's
or Target?
My Project L. That's about
Space Invaders?
Space Invaders. Oh, let's go. But Project L, we got Skull. That's pretty good.
I think the minimum price point right now is about $60.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true.
I think
For
that's
a standard game, yeah.
for a reasonable, well put together game. If people have done it under that, don't get me wrong, I see it all the time. Like, whoa, this is a really good game for $40. But I think the minimum price point at your friendly local game store is $59.99, $69.99, somewhere in there. I mean,
agree.
and if you want something a little more meatier, you're going to go up to the 100.
But
And
for
if you want something really
$49.99,
meatier,
you can get Brandon's new Free Blades faction. Or for even less than that, Shay, eventually we'll have a one-shot coming. So,
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay,
yes, but like I
it.
said,
Off
it's
track.
$60 is about roughly for your middle range,
okay.
is what I would say.
Well, on Kickstarter, the trend has kind of gone above 150. 200 has become way too common in the space. And with that said, let's talk about Hell, the Last Saga, and Anastair. Basically, Mythic Games just put an update out on the 26th of January, which says that they will not be getting the copy of either of those games to anyone who financially pledged and backed them. Period.
So they're refunding everybody their money.
No. Why would you do that? Because remember,
because you gave it to them like 3 months or 3 years
it's
in
an
advance.
investment. It's not a purchase. Remember that.
Yeah.
Remember,
Burn
Kickstarter is not a store.
That's
They're
BS.
very clear.
That's BS.
So you will not be getting the game, and many who pledged for it, they will basically be shrinking all responsibilities of the burden to CMON. Now, apparently, CMON has decided to kind of step in as an overseer of the industry and try to help out this debacle of a company who has failed on many, many fronts here. And apparently, they have bought the IPs away from Mythic Games, so they're now the company in charge of this. But what is really interesting is that while this is not CMON's fault, the offer is basically just going to be, we'll give you copies of the game if they come out, if they're what CMON does. But in theory, the language is almost bent in a way where they could, in theory, come out with a different game of which you would not be entitled to. You will also have to pay for shipping yet again, which you've already paid for. But basically, they're not giving refunds. They're kind of telling you you're SOL. You better hope CMON does something with it because we're not doing anything with it. And it's not our obligation anymore because we don't own it. CMON owns it.
But we took your money.
We took your money. We have nothing to show for it. The game,
I don't even understand how this is acceptable in this industry.
Hell, the Last Saga actually was supposed to be delivered in, was it sometime in 2021? So you're talking about a game that has missed its launch window by 3 years as well.
Yeah, it's. There's nothing really more to say than we haven't said it before. Like, I'm not gonna back anything from them anymore. Or I never did before in the first place. But I'm not gonna even
But not even
try.
from them. Like from, I don't know.
It's
I've already been down this road, and I guess I'm just going to stand on my soapbox. But the point is this: you have taken. Let me do that as a storefront.
right.
Let me take your money, wait a couple years, and go. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How is
and,
that even acceptable?
And they recoup their cost selling the IP. Like, didn't
Right.
they make money on CMON?
What they should do legally, what they should do after selling it, the IP to CMON, should have taken every penny plus dissolved their business and given that back to the people that backed them on this project. That's what they should have
Now again,
done.
CMON it sounds like is intending to get the games out, but
But
you
it's
get
not
in-
CMON's responsibility.
But you also
Yeah.
get into the problem of what game are you getting out? Are you getting a version of CMON's Hell of the Lost Saga, which from what the information out, and it's a little sparse of the data because Mythic Games is not good at communication. We've all learned
Yeah,
that over the
well.
last several years. So you're not getting it from them. It's a lot of conjecture. It's a lot of kind of connecting the pieces yourself. But what it seems to me is you're not even certain what game you're going to get at this point, if you get anything at all, because CMON's taking it over. So if they decide, hey, we didn't really like this at all, they could, in theory, blow it up, from what I understand. And you're now still you're still connected to this game
well, not only that, but
that you didn't
CMON
want in the first place.
paid to get the IP. And I don't like CMON to begin with.
Well, I
so
don't know.
whatever.
I don't know
But
if
they had
paid
to
get
give
the IP.
something, or they said, "Here, take this IP." Oh, and also with this IP, you've
Take
got
all the
all
legal
these
risk?
people
Take all
that
the
are
legal risk?
begging you to make this game at least somewhat playable for you to release to them. I mean, the fact that CMON would even announce or is going to announce, I don't know if they have or haven't officially from them,
Yeah.
saying that I will, cover whatever
Yeah.
pre-sales, because they're not getting that money. It ain't like. If they did, they should have just refunded the money if they had it. Obviously, the company doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's obvious at this point Mythic
Man,
Games has
I
become a
can't
Ponzi
believe-
scheme
well,
of Kickstarters.
exactly.
They are the cautionary tale of
But
take from this to put it to that and hope that it covers this and then get another one to fund that. And then they had a house of cards in 2020. It all fell apart. And now they're left with nothing.
I think what should happen is Kickstarter itself should almost like do something. Like ban is like something, at least something, because they have shown multiple times that they have not been taking care of the customers and the pledgers on their website. And so maybe that's what the goal is. Maybe some people or a lot of people should go to Kickstarter and tell them about this company, and maybe
I'm sure they know. It isn't like they're. I'm sure people have complained, and Kickstarter goes, "It's our policy. Good luck with it." You know,
Right.
you
Because
bid
they're,
at your
they're
own
going to keep a
risk.
very big distance.
Oh yeah, they're going to
from
be like,
all
we
of
have
this.
no yes or no in this at all. Because
Right.
if they do say you're right, we'll refund you. Then every other one that's ever been defunded is going to.
I don't.
You just
Yeah.
keep a big.
I don't think
Kickstarter's so
the
far away.
refund. I don't think the refunding thing is going to be going to happen. But you can't use our services anymore. I think that is more realistic.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I
Well,
I
at
understand
this
what
point,
you're
if you
saying,
back
but-
a game by Mythic Games,
You're-
then that's on you.
you're kind
I
of-
guess, yeah.
I mean, if you can't do research on a company and say, I don't think they should have backed the last two that they backed. I mean, somebody went into Rainbow Six, and this is a
Well,
mess
but
as it
Rainbow
is,
Six
but-
was before all of this happened, though. Rainbow Six was before the fallout. So, same thing with Monster Apocalypse. None of this had happened when those games were on Kickstarter, which is why I backed them. Because at the time, they were very well known for like Super Fantasy Brawl, which fact is, Super Fantasy Brawl is a great game. It's aesthetically pleasing. The miniatures are utterly fantastic. They're some of the best miniatures I've ever had. I love that game. It's super fun with my son. So that was my experience with that company coming into it.
Mhm.
So, and then there was a lot of course, content creators who advocated, and I was newer to the hobby at the time. So, when you have all these other people like, oh, this is a trustworthy company, this is a great company, this is great back, you'll get your money back. You kind of have to trust the people who you're watching their videos, and I did. And
So
sure
I want
enough,
to go
got
on the
burnt.
record as officially saying Voss Media Store does not back or represent any Kickstarter program that's out there. Support your friendly local game store. But
Unless it's
that's,
Chase.
Well,
I'm like, well, about
nope,
go ahead.
none of them.
what happens if CMON starts a Kickstarter for their version of Hell?
They're gonna have to.
Yeah, to fund their game. So
Yes.
like, you already kickstarted the game once ish. Now, what does that make you feel
Well,
like? Oh, suddenly I should start kickstarting the second version of it. Like,
Well, from my understanding with the report, they said that they would be.
The offer was they'll give the backers a gift of either one free copy of the game or X amount of copies of Simon's version of Hell, The Last Saga, and Anastair's base game, up to however much it was paid in the pledge. It will not apply to any potential expansions to the game they may make. All add-ons, stretch goals, and other promises made by Mythic Games over the years will not be upheld by Simon.
So see, picture this now. Here we go. We got it. Ready? All right. This is how they do it. Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the base game. It's $10. It's almost unplayable unless you get this expansion, this expansion, this expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, you get it for free because you already spent tons of money over here. We'll give you this $10.
We'll give you 12 copies of it.
We'll give
you get 10 copies.
You get 10 copies of this base game, but
That'll make up for it.
you're gonna have to pay for all of this other stuff.
But
Count
let's be like at least somewhat partial. Simon doesn't do that kind of stuff. At least I haven't heard of.
Marvel Zombies.
I mean,
Marvel
Marvel Zombies. No,
Zombies.
Marvel Zombies, but you still got Marvel Zombies. I know they shouldn't went through it, but they will give you a product that is
Oh,
actually.
they'll give you a product.
They won't
Yeah.
just like I don't see them doing like what you like that.
They're more trustworthy.
It's more trustworthy, but it's
let me
still
ask you
a
this:
yeah.
you already have a game,
Mhm.
right? This is the problem I have with Simon right here. Dare it out. Masters of the Universe, right?
Yes.
The one they just released. I got it in the other room, but went full in.
Yes, you did.
right. They released it not too long ago. Also did like a whole like, oh, retailers can now get it through Asmodee. The only thing you can't get is the mat or the box of power, because they were Kickstarter exclusives. Oh, and these really cool dice. Other than that, or in the terrain, but other than that, you can get everything else through Asmodee. If you missed the Kickstarter, okay, no problem, great. They just have 3 days left on another one they put on GameFound after their game was already released in retail stores and they've already done a Kickstarter. There's another one, and they go, oh yeah, but you can also get this exclusive, like expansion that we didn't give you with the first kit, but we broke down the kits. It's almost it is absolutely utterly ridiculous that Kickstarter, you would need to use that. Again, we've talked about it like last week. We've beat this horse to death. It is an advertising platform that some companies just have it written in of how they're going to do their advertising.
But instead of them spending all the money, they get all the free money because the one of the people who was writing on Reddit talking about this, their pledge was for over $400 in On Hell. So you talk about that's a lot of copies of a base game coming your way.
40 copies of base games, baby.
So it's one of those things where, again, back to the problem with Kickstarter is everything now is just, three figures from what I'm seeing. And it's very easy now to see games at $200, $300, $400 if you want the complete experience, which is crazy. You can buy a PlayStation 5 for the same cost as a board game, which to me is just what a wild value proposition.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't look at it like that before, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I think if you're competing with every other media in the market,
Right.
you really have to keep that in mind, I think.
Yeah.
Is my game worth a full library of
A
games?
75-inch, LED TV.
Sure.
Or
I mean,
Masters of the Universe.
but there's some people like you that will go ahead and buy that multiple copies of those games or multiple games,
copies?
multiple games of that, like $400, $350 to $500.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Really?
a fatigue.
Yeah.
It's Kickstarter fatigue's happening.
It's a hobby. It's like when you get into a new hobby, you buy everything, you spend way too much money, and then over time you start to fatigue of wasting money because you start to see what you use, what you don't use. And so, as I was telling you off camera, I had several big box games come in. One of them was my game of the week. I'll save that. I had Euthia that just came in with all those expansions, which was 4 huge boxes. I've got ISS Vanguard with the full wave of everything for that I got 2.5 years ago. And so now I'm sitting here with all these huge boxes rolling in a small period of time. I've got Unsettled coming in too. And it's just like, I don't want any more boxes because it's like they take up so much space. And I'm almost at a point where I kind of think like, hey, I would take 90% of my money to not get these boxes to come into my house at this point. I don't need them. And so I personally, I think I've only backed the one game that we did earlier from Orange Nebulous, the
Spirit Fire.
Spirit Fire. Yeah, I think that's the only one. I think that was this year. May have been last year.
It was this year.
Yeah,
Oh, no, it was last year. It was last year.
So I
at
don't
the
even
end.
I don't even think I've backed a game this year. So
Well, yeah, it's January. Give you time.
that's a big deal for me though.
I mean,
I was like
all-
5 to 7 games
all
a month
I'm
last
saying
year.
is there may come a time that another really cheaper than the hundreds of thousands of dollars coming out, and you shouldn't just knock them until you look at it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we'll look forward to that date.
Okay.
So let's move on to something a little bit different than a standard board game, because this is something that is very important to somebody here on the show. Of course, that's going to be our producer, Brandon. We've got Adepticon coming up here in about a month and a half or so, depending on when you watch this video. It's going to be in March of 2024 in Chicago, Illinois. And of course, for those of you who may or may not know, Adepticon is one of, if not the biggest miniature table war game conventions that exists. And this is a chance for anybody of 40K and Blood Bowl and Age of Sigmar, or more importantly, Free Blades. Not freelancers.
Free Blades.
There's your fall on the sword.
Yeah,
There it is. Boom.
But Free Blades or any of those other types of games that fall into that category. This is the World Championships. This is where the best of the best come together and they play to find out who owns the tabletop. And of course, our Brandon will be there representing Free Blades. So if you get a chance, stop by the booth and see him. He'll also be launching his new faction there, the Owl People. And so with that said, there's an interesting story with Adepticon. Something I never in a million years would think we would talk about. Scalping tickets to Adepticon.
You know, every year these events get bigger. Lately, it's been getting bigger. Gen Con has seen its record breaking. Spiel has seen its the Spiel Awards over even Germany even seen its record breaking. It just seems like the one that happened just not so long ago in Ohio was record breaking. It was last year, late last year. Origins was like record breaking. So I mean, it seems like they continue to release and be record breaking events. So with what you're about to talk about, I can see it being a problem.
Well, apparently there are sites, one like Geek Nation Tours, which apparently have gone, and within a very short period of time of tickets becoming available for Adepticon, all of the tickets for all of the events were bought up. Everything. And what's interesting is, so I know Geek Nation Tours has packages that you can go to. Now, if we wanted to try a game, if we wanted to get a badge, if we wanted to get a certain things at this Adepticon, we can't get them because these kind of companies have gone through, bought up all the tickets, and now they're offering packages for you to get a first-class service experience at Adepticon. So now you have all these travel sites and unique websites that are going through and buying up all of the seats for the Learn to Plays. They're buying up all of the event badges. So people who are actually going to want to go can't get access unless you now buy some of these pre-built packages. That's something I never thought. I mean, obviously an indication of the size of the hobby.
Geek's getting cool, man. It's cool to be a geek.
But what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? And Brandon, I'd love to get your input because as somebody who's actually going to be working booths, you brought up some great points that I think it's great to share of the negative consequence that can happen with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So a couple things. They can't buy Adepticon. They can't buy up all the Adepticon badges. There's an unlimited amount of badges because the badges only get you into the hall to like walk around and look at things. So there's not a cap on that. Now these packages do come with badges, but that they can't buy up all of them. What they do buy up a lot of, if not all of, is the going to painting classes, all the Learn to Plays, tournament tickets, because the wait list last year for one of the bigger tournaments, the 40K singles tournament, had over 60 people on a wait list waiting to play. And most of those people got to play because of openings and holes showing up. But it's heartbreaking when you wake up an hour late because you didn't realize it's Chicago time and not Michigan time, like I'm in.
Yeah, but
And
does
then-
that sound like a personal experience
Yeah,
there?
and then you're scrolling through, and you put your credit card information in, you get your ticket, you get everything, and at the very end, when you hit checkout, it's like, okay, now all this stuff in your bag, even though it's only been open for 45 minutes, is all sold out. And then you got to go back, delete it all from your bag, and then go run through again, and then realize, oh, another half of this stuff from the first time you went through is now still sold out in the time that it took you to correct your bag. So it's a rough experience from a consumer perspective, and then from a perspective of being someone who runs events, and especially little events like Free Blades. I learned to play Free Blades. Yeah, it comes in this package, and they bought up a bunch of tickets for it, but those people aren't coming to the Learn to Play Free Blades usually. They're going to the all you could eat pizza or the other buffet options or bowling options that are part of this all-inclusive thing. And then the tickets to the little events that get bought up and thrown in as a kind of semi-incentives on top of it just kind of get lost. And you end up running a Learn to Play game with 2 of your 6 slots open. Like, yeah.
Now, does this is something I don't know, and I guess this is just my ignorance in this situation. Does the people running the booth that put the tickets out, do they make the revenue from it? Even though, so you set up a Free Blades tournament, let's say, or Free Blades Learn to Play, right? You say there's 6 seats for this Learn to Play, and you give that to Adepticon to sell these X amount of tickets, right? $20 a seat. Let's just call it. That's that important. Let's just pretend. So anyway, do you get that money? Does the Free Blades DGS get that money, or is it just we're putting on this event and Adepticon gets that money?
A little, from my understanding, it's a little bit of both.
Oh, so there's like a split there.
So your events also provide some prize support depending on size.
Okay.
So you'll get your medal, the nice big Adepticon medals that are engraved with what you said, like the Free Blades World Championship will be at Adepticon this year, or at least North American Championship. We'll see if we get anyone from Europe, but we'll get 4 or 5 medals for like best painted, winner of the tournament. That'll be provided. But
And some of that money that they paid for the ticket goes to those prizes.
yes.
So,
yes.
but they have to then pay that out, of course. So at least they're getting somewhat paid back for their, like you putting out 6 seats, you're getting something for those 6 seats, even if they don't fill. I mean, don't get me wrong. The whole point you do it, running what I run events every single day, I want people to show more than I want the $5 for it takes them to show, right? Like,
This is advertising.
yeah,
This
I mean,
is exposure.
this is so it's. I understand that because it means more to introduce 4 people to a new game that I really enjoy, or to a game period that they might enjoy, means more to me than that $5 I'm going to get per person, right? You know.
Yeah, and from my understanding, it doesn't even come close to the cost of having the booth. Like DGS pays
gotcha.
Adepticon for booth space,
Yes.
and that is an order of magnitude more than they make back from any events.
Yeah, it's a marketing expense.
Yeah, and it's
Yes.
it's because we're small.
Right.
And
If,
why don't-
if DGS
just
was
to-
bigger, like Adepticon will work around 40K. 40K will get what they
Yeah,
want,
yeah,
and then other
Games
people
Workshop,
will,
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But like, if I just an idea thrown out, and I'm trying to rewrite all of Adepticon right here in this freaking show.
Good
right?
luck.
Anyway, it would seem to me that you would have X number of seats, but because you constantly run into this problem, you would have like walk-in seats available, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we usually
So you said wait list earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will pull from the wait list. We openly tell our community on our Discord and on our channels, hey, if you're on a wait list, show up anyway. You're gonna play. We've never not, even if we went over the number of people, we'll pull in chairs. We'll
Yeah.
we'll
You
get-
want
we'll
to.
get
The
people to
objective
play.
of the whole event is to get
Yeah.
people interested in your game. So yeah.
So we just are telling people, just if it's sold out, get on the wait list. Show up anyway. You're
Gotcha.
gonna get to play.
So
Yeah.
they can get people to still sit and play. What's the only thing that kind of is exciting, I guess? I don't know if this is negative type. I can understand how frustrating it would be if I was looking forward to joining one of those, but then I had, a wait list that I can join if I can't, and I still might be able to play anyway. I guess it depends on how, once everything irons out, which we're very excited to see in a couple months to have this conversation again, to see how well it went there and if everything kind of ironed out in the works. But to be able to say Adepticon is so important, or gaming is so popular now, even wargaming or tabletop gaming, however you want to call it, is so popular that they're selling out that fast. Even if they're scalpers, but they know that they don't buy them to lose
only
money on
scalping
them
because there's
people
an
want
opportunity
them, right?
there.
Like, yeah. They're not buying them just to go, we're going to lose.
Right.
They're going to gain.
I
Right.
think one thing we should look at though is if this is a trend that's going to happen. What do you think if they are okay? If this happens to Adepticon, what about Gen Con?
Well, Gen Con's already announcing that they're like had the largest badge sales already from launching their badge releases.
No, the VIP.
No.
The badges haven't come out until
Yeah.
February.
February, yeah.
They've just announced yesterday, I want to say, that the
Well, they have a VIP
okay,
program
so maybe that was it.
that it's one of those where like if people fall out, they'll bring a few more in, but there's such a huge demand to get this VIP experience.
Another thing is their tickets. Most people don't even have their tickets available until 2 or 3 months into the 2 or 3 months after
well,
the
I
announcement.
didn't
of the
get my
events.
tickets. Like I didn't get my badges to Gen Con until literally the night before. I just showed up and bought them on site.
Well, they'll let you have
but I didn't
badges,
get
but
to
I mean,
do anything
yeah,
because
yeah,
everything
yeah.
was booked.
Yeah.
Everything's booked.
Well,
And
you can come by free. I'll get you in. You want to do some free blade?
Well,
stuff?
I didn't know you back then.
Yeah,
Now
see?
you do.
Well, look at that. You got a hookup now. And we
see-
got a few other ones. We got a couple guys on our list we can go visit on Gen Con. And,
That's right. Well,
and yeah.
Donald's gonna have a good time. for us.
Donald-
But I'll tell you what. So because Brandon had shot this over to me to answer your
Yeah.
question though, because Game Workshops, they're actually really concerned about this kind of stuff, and not necessarily for Gen Con,
right.
but back to Adepticon.
yeah.
They're actually deleting scalper orders after a huge outcry from the community because obviously they are launching a new Bloodthorn set, which is a big annual event for them to go through and release some new stuff for Adepticon. And apparently there was just such a huge uproar of scalping on this that they're actually going back through and deleting all those scalped orders. I wish NVIDIA would do that with graphic cards.
Well,
but
picture yourself, right? Like I'm picturing myself here.
Uh-huh.
I live here in the United States,
Mhm.
and Spiel, which I would love to go do, right? The German Spiel, whatever. The
That's
I
the
can't
food.
That's the
Yes,
stuff.
food, whatever the hell. I would love to go do that. And then
Right.
all of a sudden I'm on searching to like, I would really love to go. And then there's this package that I could stay in a really nice hotel and I get to go eat buffet. And then I also get bowling or whatever they're into over there. I don't know. Brats. I don't know what's going on.
brats.
I've not been to Germany. It's one of the few places I haven't been
Wear
to.
some Lederhosen.
Whatever. I'm
Right.
down. And I could do all this and get to go to this event that I really want to go. I would be sold in a heartbeat. Although the prices were what were we saying the prices were?
Like 2,500 to 2,900. It's
That's a
the
little
whole
crazy,
weekend. It's
but,
Wednesday through Sunday. Badge
Mhm.
for every day, hotel every night.
I mean, I could go to an
That'd
F1
be
race in
awesome,
Silverstone in UK for that price. I think
Really?
I'd rather, I'd rather do that.
I don't know.
I
dude.
think it's the target audience is Europeans to
Yeah,
come to Adepticon because Adepticon is the third largest miniature wargaming.
Would now
convention.
this is Brandon. I'm going to ask you. This is my assumption. I would assume far more Europeans play tabletop war games than North American.
we.
I feel like this is a Russian game to me,
So
right?
no, GW is
No.
an English company.
Yes,
Are they?
GW
And
is the
it's
English.
a the European circuit is very competitive. There's probably more European players than American players, but Americans have I've been out of 40K for 2 years, but I played for 18 before that. The American meta is very competitive, and when the US sends their teams to Worlds for 40K, it was in Italy a couple years ago, pre-COVID. But we do very well
Yeah.
because we play
Darn
a
right we
very
do.
Darn
play
right
a-
we do.
we
It's because
play a
we're
very,
conquerors. I don't know.
like
USA.
competitive. Now the problem that the US team, and I know a couple people that are on the US team, which is pretty cool, but the problem that they get, the biggest problem they get when they go over there is that everyone there speaks English, but the English team only speaks English. So when they're playing the Italians or they're playing the French, they're playing the Norwegians, they get to speak in their own native tongue to each other about what they're playing, and then everyone speaks English. So
Well, they're
We
going to
need
be
to do that-
upset when Google Translate comes through and changes that.
Yeah, they
game.
got like a little earpiece in their ear that will
Yeah,
translate it for them.
yeah.
Yeah, they're really in trouble. Although if my Google Translates never gets anything right, so I would totally be like, they're going over there, and then I'm screwed because it doesn't really go. But we need to figure out a way to do that when we're board gaming as teams, right? Like how we
Yeah.
can create our own little.
Does your
like,
Google
language.
Translate respond with "Maybe I'm wrong"?
Maybe I'm wrong. But we need to figure out how to do that within board gaming. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Have our own little language at the table that we can discuss.
We should learn.
We should try playing a game.
Esperanto.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really like cooperative games. You got me. We're moving along.
All right, but this is so. With that said, we'll kind of wrap up on Adepticon. But I do have to say, for you champions out there watching, I will be attending Adepticon to represent.
Did you
the
get your
channel.
badges?
I didn't get my badges. No, I'm
Never
just
doing
showing up.
nothing. You're just gonna walk around.
I'm just gonna walk around. So if you see me at Adepticon, please stop by, say hello.
He'll be
I'll
the guy with
alone
this.
and by
Maybe I'm
myself.
wrong on the back of his shirt. So
I got a badge for you. Don't worry
What's
about
that?
it. I got a badge for you. I have an exhibitor and a.
nice. If I show up, I can get a badge too. Hook me
No,
up. Too.
I have one extra badge.
Dibs.
Dibs. Fair.
But offer it to me first.
yeah,
That's
but-
it.
But if you see me at Adepticon, please feel free to stop by, say hello. I'll be alone and sad. So
What day is
keep me
this?
company.
It's
What-
March.
March 20 through 24th.
okay.
It's Wednesday.
Yep.
Don't go Wednesday. Wednesday nothing fun happens, but Thursday through Sunday.
Yep, one of my good buddies is going to be playing in the Star Wars Legion.
Oh,
He
that's
earned a
okay.
seat
Yeah.
in the World Championship, so I'll be there to cheer him on, and of course, be there to support Brandon as he's launching his new thing. Are
We've
you
got
guys
like
going?
we've got like 3 or 4 members here that are planning.
But I mean,
to
aren't you
attend.
guys going to support Brandon?
I was going to, but he gave my badge to you. So
Teamwork.
I'll get
killed the
another
dream.
badge. My goodness, Grandpa.
Unbelievable, you guys.
Look, there's a thing called finances. let me. I don't know if you know anything about it.
Do you have a
Yeah,
check
he doesn't-
for the
he
savings?
doesn't
Comes to
understand.
it, There's only a certain few things.
it's not what he does for a living. Is no clue. No clue what you're talking
I
about.
want to. I will support from afar.
From afar.
You'll watch the video.
I will definitely watch the video.
So, well, we're looking forward to it, and Brandon, we're excited to see you in your native culture of tabletop wargaming. I'm excited to see you. So, with that said, we're gonna move on to our last news topic. This one, Dion, is one you're super excited
Oh
about.
gosh, I'm so happy about this one.
So
I gotta tell the whole story though. I get to break this story.
Go on. No,
Okay,
he should.
so-
he should.
You always break the story.
It's
I'm breaking
okay.
this is
Go
mine.
ahead. No,
okay.
go
Okay,
for
go,
it.
go ahead.
So a while back,
Huh?
I found this game.
Yeah.
Called Comic Hunters. What I loved about it. Okay. What,
So you already
Comic Hunter-
spoiled the name.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
No, you go ahead.
So what I loved about this game
Mhm.
was that on the every comic that you collect in the game, because it's like a set collection game, right? Were all real copies of original comics. So like Captain America #1 was really Captain America #1, at least cover art. I'm an old comic guy. I love comics. Anyway, only place I could find it anywhere is Brazil. That's it. Brazil's the only place I could find it. And I couldn't get anybody to send it to me.
So you flew to Brazil.
I wanted to really bad. And if I knew what I know now when I was actually in Brazil, I probably would have got it, but that was many years back. Anyway, so a friend of mine was like, actually a member here was like, oh, me and my wife are going to Brazil to visit her family. And I was like, here's money, a bunch of it. Buy me buy me a case of this. It will be in Portuguese, but when it comes back, they do have like these English titles you could put right over because everybody on BGG have been mentioning how amazing this game is. Very similar to that Pokemon game. Did you see that Pokemon Splendor?
Oh, I want that.
Very similar to that. That's kind of going around in the push right now. So it's one of those games that I'm like, man, why would you not release? And I always thought it was IP problems or IP issues to where they couldn't get the rights to release it because they were carrying the real art from these artists and they couldn't pay each. And I was like, okay, I'll take. But I was really close.
International IP art or law is very
A little
different. than
different, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
United States,
you could release the rights in Brazil and not have to
Different
pay
patent
what you
laws.
would pay for United States, or anyway.
Yeah.
Long story short, I'm very excited to announce Arcane Wonders will be releasing Arcane Wonders and Spin Masters.
And Spin Masters,
and Spin
yeah.
Masters
Yeah,
will
yeah.
be publishing Marvel comic collectors. After some no-name guy mentioned he would like to see it here.
Tom Bassel.
Tom Vassell. Yeah,
was that? I don't know.
that's
who that
when he
is.
started liking it. Is after Tom recommended it,
No,
right?
way before. Listen, he's a
Nothing
late
better
comer.
than poking an elitist by saying he only likes it because Tom likes it.
Yeah. So listen, I was way on this train way before Tom was even like, I guess if you're going to send me a copy of it. Like, I was there already. Like, I was ready to get on a flight to Brazil and get
You
my
were
own
ready to
damn
give
copy.
your months-old child away for a copy.
Well, and my poor friend came back and said, we looked everywhere. We could not find it anywhere. We went to every game store we could find, and they don't have game stores like our game stores here. And I'm like, that's crap. So I want to open a Voss Media in Brazil. Like and subscribe. Go ahead and
You're gonna need a lot
fund
of sweet
that.
YouTube cash to make
We
that
need
happen.
a lot of sweet YouTube cash to make bring Brazil Voss Media Board Game Cafe.
Well, and I think obviously we've seen a big trend. The one thing that I kind of worry about games like this is obviously Marvel fatigue, because Marvels have gushed over into almost every different type of game possible. But I do think the one thing that's very different about this, from what I have seen it, is I think the fact that they're highlighting the comic book art versus just, oh, here's Dice Thrones, but with Spider-Man. Here's Splendor, but with
Hey,
Black
slow
Panther.
it, slow. The Marvel Dice
slapped him
Throne
with a glove,
is
I swear.
amazing.
It's okay.
It's
It's
if
okay.
you like Dice Throne, you like you definitely like Marvel.
It's okay.
But with that said, I think why this game is going to be special is because I think the fatigue comes from the movies. I think we're done with watching a lot of movies like that. But I don't think the comic book or the
comics have been around forever.
Right.
Yeah.
They're,
Like, I
they're
mean,
not,
I'd say forever,
kinda
but
hitting a
since the
different
50s,
niche.
they
60s,
hit
I
a
mean,
different niche, and
and-
that's why I think it's going to be good. That's why I'm
I'm
excited
an
when I
old
saw
school
it.
comic collector, and to be able to find actually a Spider-Man 300 in a store is like, oh my god, I gotta buy this because I'm a comic book collector. So to see it and pretend to find it in this little like whatever game, and I've never even played. I've watched videos on it, but I've never played it. But to actually be able to collect it and be like, it just feels good.
Yeah.
There's a game that came out called Vinyl. I don't know if you've played Vinyl, right?
I haven't
Looks
played
it
but I
looks
know
cool. It looks all right. You're collecting vinyl records, and they've even got like the British Invasion where you're collecting the Beatles albums. But
Rolling Stones.
they can't use the real names. It's clever how many names are close, like
Yeah.
like Blue Submarine. No, obviously that's Yellow Submarine, you know, that type of thing. But I think the game would have been better if they could have got an IP
Yeah.
on the real like stuff. But and I understand you couldn't do that because here with the rules and regulations,
Right.
and everything, but it does make the game better. So the fact if they're going to release it with the real art, and if it's just the game with English update, God, please don't do a Kickstarter on this. Just let me have 2 cases. I will buy them tomorrow. Just let me have 2 cases of this game, and then also probably a 3rd case because I want to sell a case. But the other two I want to keep. But I'm sold right away, and I can't. I'm
You're
really
like a little
excited.
kid in a candy shop right
I'm
now.
really excited
It's
about
like
this
I'm
game.
finding out about a Heat expansion.
And it's not in my collection of games that I would be excited about. Like, it's not Lacerda just announced he's doing it or something like that. Like, this is not a game I would
There's
care.
the Lacerda reference for the week.
Ting.
We need to get a sound effect for that.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Achievement unlocked, like
Achievement
an Xbox
unlocked.
achievement.
Yes.
Yeah, you need
That's
to
what we
do
need to
something
do.
like that. Make that happen.
It looks like the Xbox achievement unlocked thing
Yeah,
underneath.
yeah, we definitely want Microsoft coming after us.
Yes.
That's-
Well,
We'll figure out sound.
IP
what
rules.
would,
We'll figure it out.
What will
Yeah.
Lacerda achievement sound like?
I don't
Like,
know.
see, that's what we got to figure out.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
I
Something
got
fancy.
you.
I'm
Wait,
pretty
wait.
sure.
Do that one more time. All right, thank you. Anyway,
You're gonna use that? That's the sound. Anyway, I don't know if you guys know Inventions is coming soon. Anyway,
Let's talk
I-
about Ian O'Toole.
I love his.
Just move on. Move
I
on.
mean, my God,
Move on.
Is there a better?
Can we move on?
We
Oh my
can.
God.
Anyway,
yes.
to be able to collect the real comic books of the day that you will never see. I mean, you'll never see a pristine #1 Captain America. If you do, it's in a case somewhere that someone's already spent millions of dollars on. So to be able to try to get that and collect it and go with your collection of comic books, I've watched it played. I'm very excited
For the
only
right
because, and I'm not a Marvel hyped. I mean, I'd rather it be DC.
Right.
I mean, DC is my groove. So, but if they could.
For the right audience, this is going to really hit a home run.
And I don't even like Marvel Splendor. I like the original Splendor. So, I mean, it doesn't like throw an IP on it and I'm ready to jump on
Right.
board.
No, this
It
is
was
different.
the
But
set
this is- it's the set
collection
collection,
that kind
yeah.
of brings back memories of a kid, hit the nostalgic. I don't really like tabletop wargaming that much, but I love that Masters of the Universe
Yeah.
because it brings back my old 80s kid that I would sit there and watch Saturday morning cartoons with He-Man.
And also, you
And
have
I get
that,
to battle and I get to be like Skeletor, and then, you know, yell. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
stupid, but it just kind of brings back that moment.
And I get it as a sports fan too, who grew up cracking packs for baseball and hockey
absolutely.
and football and all that stuff. So kind of that same thing of like, ooh, you get to open up and there's a Joe Montana rookie card, or there's a Ken Griffey Jr. upper deck, and just those kind of experiences.
Arcane Wonders and Spin Masters. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, make that happen. Go back to
reskin it and
put a sports
game
game
and
on it.
you
Yeah,
could do a
I
lot
would
with it.
just
sports.
the ability to collect
back to vinyl. You could do
Vinyls?
album covers of the history.
It's that moment of, I mean, people buy it here. Those Lorcana packs that you crack open and go, oh, I've got, and it's just that sudden burst of ooh and ah, even
Magic
though you
will
know
take
everything
any money
that's going to be in there.
you'll give them. I bet
Magic
you
will
could
take
get that.
anything you'll give.
So
Anyway, I'm very
that's
excited about
another
this.
topic,
Great
but-
news, popping news.
Yes.
So happy, very
yes,
great.
yes,
very
yes,
happy.
yes.
All right. Well, gentlemen, that is the end of the industry news for the week. And with that, we're going to move on to everybody's favorite segment. Now, I'm going to try to do that this week and get through it, because last week was my fall on the sword moment. Was literally almost vomited all over the table trying to do it.
Yeah, I remember.
It's time for the pit.
That's pretty good.
I'm gonna bring my guitar actually one of these times.
please do.
I'm going to.
Well, it was so good because there's so much gunk in my
Oh, is
throat.
it? So it's really nice to do that?
Very natural.
There you go.
All right. So this week, I was spending some time last week while I was ill. In case you don't know, I had pneumonia. And
I'm gonna have a counter on this.
You should.
He's already up to at least 3 or 4.
but I was just kind of cutting, or I was cutting. I was removing game pieces from cardboard, punching things out, which is one of my least favorite hobbies of trying to get a game ready.
No way.
I hate
Really?
it. I hate that part.
You hate the punching of the...
I hate it.
That's the
Absolutely
pit
hate
right
it.
there. We got. I feel like that's the pit. It's
Well, we can do that. We can do that next time.
Put it in the
But
chat. 'Cause,
I absolutely hate it. And
Better
so,
than some draw, whatever the heck that board game was.
What's that?
That it's better of a pit than the hey, let's grab a board.
That wasn't the pit. That was
the
Feet
pit.
on Fire.
That was Feet on Fire.
Yeah,
so
my
that
bad.
we know what Brandon's falling on the sword is.
You can't make mistakes around here. I don't like swords, and I don't like falling on them. Listen, I may be wrong.
That's gonna be a
Fall on the sword's great when you're the editor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess. Right.
but so I was punching out some stuff for Arc Nova. After playing with Brandon, had a great time, and I was getting my Marine Time stuff done and trying to fit it all into a box, and it fits terrible, and it really got me thinking about inserts, and not just the inserts that you can buy, because I'll tell you this right now. I absolutely am disappointed in 90% of the purchasable inserts that you can buy secondhand market, because what doesn't make sense to me, look at how all of these games are stored. This is representation of, I would say, 70 to 80% of people I see on Board Game Geek. When they post their collections, they're all in calyxes.
They're not made for that.
And every single insert that I see made never has a top for all the tokens. It doesn't make sense to me. It absolutely drives me wild. Like, hey, spend $90 on an insert, and we're not going to give you a top. So the second you put your board game away, well, what's the point of the insert? I just wasted $90. I could have bought a new game, or at least could have given it to Mythic Games so they could have it for no reason.
No.
And
No.
so, with that said, it got me wondering: would you pay a little bit more for your board game if it came with a high quality insert that made getting it to the table significantly easier?
Let's just break. No.
No.
Because the games I like has the perfect inserts. Have I talked about Final Girl in a while? Final Girl has a really great insert. You don't even need it. Even got good storage solution, but
It does have a good insert.
it's so good. And so, but what I pay, I have not yet paid extra for a thing. You know what? I had somebody made a 3D print of inserts to go into my Batman Dark Knight Returns game, and I used that. But you know how much that cost me? $3.99 with shipping and handling.
Anytime that you ask a question that has to do with more money. Shay's going to be the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is going to be like, did you see him sweat a little when I was
Yeah.
like, $30, you're $60 minimum. And he's like, no.
I was just
He's over here
pointing out-
sweating. He's like, no, it's
No,
not true.
I was pointing out that there's good games in different brackets. All I'm saying.
That's what he wanted to point out, but he was over there sweating. Like, what's one of your favorite games? Nemesis. It's like $150. He started crying. Like I had to we had to stop the whole tape. I had to like comfort him for a minute.
You don't have to worry about me about that because I'm getting the new one, and the new one comes with cardboard figurines as well as the deluxe figurines. So I don't have to worry
How
about
much
it.
still is that game though? That's still going to be like $60, right? At least
exactly.
$60, $70.
But that's better than 150.
no. Okay, so is
190.
it my turn on this?
Yeah, it's your
I
turn.
got two folds on this one. I'm not on each side of the fence. I'm on complete one side,
okay.
but it's twofold. As a business, abso-freaking-lutely, let me buy the better. Like, I want my pieces to last as long as possible. I want them to be put away and take out easy, and I will pay more for that. One of the most frustrating times I've ever, since having this store, is I opened Seven Wonders Architects, and I go, how much is this game? Like $49.99, and this every single nice little plastic put away, and every little, oh, you want to be this? Here, that's everything you need to be that. Like Babylon's, here's your whole hanging gardens, everything you need. Shovel the top, put it to the left, everything you need is on front of it. We can rumble, right? Like you can do that with a simplified game like that, but you can't make, I don't know, it's about every other game decently put away and take out. So that on a personal level, I buy games. If I was to shut the place down tomorrow and take 300 games off my 1,400 that I have here, or 200, a half of them will be Eagle Griffin games. No, Eagle Griffin. That's different. Because I pay more for games that I can take out and put away perfectly, right? That I can. There's rare times do I put, even setting them sideways, up, down, flip, flop, I can throw it in the air. Rarely do I put down a game like that and stuff are mixed up. There might be a couple, something jumped over, whatever, but it's extremely rare.
Now,
And those are $125, $130 games. You rarely pay under $100 for one.
now to be fair, because
To be fair.
having good inserts makes the game cost more. Like it will. And so
Especially companies like Game Nerds who, or no, not Game Nerds.
game trays.
Game
Trace,
trays. Oh,
yeah.
they do amazing job. When I see game trays
They're like
on the
industry
box,
standard.
Yeah.
or
now.
game trays in the thing, I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
I'll
but
pay the extra
it's
$5, $10
also-
for the game.
Yes.
Thank you.
And so a lot of games, the last thing they'll think about, well, I'm not going to say that I know them, but from what I've seen, the last thing they
You're
think
saying
about.
you could be wrong?
I could be wrong. I could be. Look, you don't got a IP,
No?
copyright trademark on that game.
I'm just
on
saying
that
that
term.
thing.
But the point is, what I'm trying to say is, I know, like, because I'm trying to make another game. It's not coming out this year, but I'm trying to make another game, and to think about inserts after you're trying to think about all the cards and all the pieces and all the things. And
It's like
I
a
want
puzzle,
to make
really.
I could see a
It's-
cost-effective way, and I understand that, but you see
Yeah.
games that do it, and they do it very reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
And I would rather spend another $10 to have a way. What irritates me more, and this is what irritates me more than anything, is these tiny epic games. Stop it. Just freaking stop it. You're a full game. Adapt to yourself and build a box to fit it all in.
Yeah.
You
doesn't
got
fit.
a ton of pieces and they never want to shut right, and you got to like wrap a band around it, and it's, oh my god, dude, it wants to. And then when they do, it all flips all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's-
I understand
and
your
I'll-
niche is like, look at these tiny little pieces, but it's a full game in this tiny little box.
So
not
Matt,
acceptable.
So Matt, you said I can add more energy, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
we're back.
Well, while he's doing God knows what,
You're gonna find the one tiny epic game that everything fits into.
well, so what I was going to say for my opinion on this is quite simple. I would much rather spend $10 more for a Game Trays perfect insert
You're about
than
to learn.
I don't know.
an
That's why I wanna know.
extra $70,
You didn't grab the other
$75
bad one.
I just,
for, one of these straight from Europe foam inserts or some of the other printed ones that I've seen that, again, like I said earlier, don't even hold the tokens in. So when I think of a game, especially like a multiplayer game, like Apiary came out, had a nice little setup that kind of keeps all the components together. Foundations of Rome. I wish you had it here.
I don't.
That to me, There is not a game that has a better tray experience than Foundations of Rome. It's a massive box. You open it up, and every tray comes out perfect with all of your buildings for your city, all of your pieces, all of your tiles,
should for the price you
perfectly
paid for that damn
organized.
thing.
Yeah.
And so all you do is you take your tray, you put it down, you take the top off because it comes with a perfect form-fitting top, comes right off. You are ready to play within literally 10 seconds. To me, I'm paying a little bit more for that experience because there are games that when they come out, you're going to sit there for 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes setting things up and going through and sorting out the token. Forget all that. Set it up so I can take it out of the box, put it on the table, and play.
So since we're watching video for most of it, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to see. There's a test that I do. Well, sometimes when I'm trying to figure out,
There's
and I
2
think
boxes of those, by the way.
So I know. So there's 2 boxes of this. Be right back.
This is where you can just cut the video. Please cut the video.
You never know with him what's going on.
Okay. So what I was trying to say is what you should do, what companies should do, what, because you know the box is gonna be like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then people will look like this, and then you flip it over, and then you see how good the insert is. That's why I do with a lot of games to see how good their insert is. Let's see about this one. Oh, that's not bad.
That's not the whole game. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, let's look at another game because it's the other part, right?
There's all kinds of tiny epics that are just right over there
Oh, I must have
that
missed it.
you can grab and look at, that they are the worst when it comes to, like, this has a couple boxes. So why not just, this is what drives me nuts about them.
Put a tray.
Why not? Why don't you say put a tray? Just
A
build a
2-cent
little
tray.
bigger of a freaking box. Let
Yeah.
me put everything in comfortably. Why do
Yeah.
I have to force your game shut?
Yeah.
Well, this
Yeah.
drives me insane.
This might also be a topic for another pit, but do you normally store your games all like I get all your games are vertical behind you, but like all my games are horizontal.
Are they? All of them?
Oh,
Yeah,
You
because
pile
I
them?
could read them horizontally in my colics.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, but you have to like grab the bottom and lift up the rest to pull it out, which
Yeah.
is okay
Which
for a
is-
single store. It's okay for a single place, but here, and you got to. You're also not only that, but you're putting pressure on all of them. So some of them are really heavy. Of course, you want to put those on the bottom. But if they're not put back the exact same way every time, you're going to have this issue of like someone just takes it out, pops it back on top, and you're going to press down.
The only
because they're not
the
gonna
only
take care of
time
it
I
the way
have
it
a
is.
stack, a vertical stack, Brandon, is
I'll show you.
if I have like in my calyxes, I'll have expansions. If I've got like one game I really like, I'll showcase the game box of the game I really like, but I'll stack up like this all the expansions behind it. So like Spirit Island or Everdell, I've got those stacked like this, but then I've got like the main box showing the full box art because basically the whole calyx is that game, or Blood Rage or
Fair.
Sky Tear, some of those other games. So that's the only time I do it, but everything else is just like this at home.
yeah. Which is you've seen mine. Mine's horizontal. So like
So
I don't know.
comment below because that would be interesting to see what the average person does.
Yeah.
I just assume this is how everybody did it, but if you do it different, comment and tell us how you
think
do it.
there's some people who don't do it. Well, then obviously people don't always do horizontal. The only, like that's probably you saying how to slide the other ones in. I know they have like things you could put in calyxes that you can. What?
So this is what I did yesterday.
Okay.
This
now
is the
remember,
box.
they are on camera,
Right, so
not with
Yes,
us.
yes. I'm gonna show, of course.
Boom,
But
boom.
this is what I did yesterday. So I opened this box, Lords of Waterdeep, which I've been waiting to get in my collection for some time, because before I opened the store, my friend owned it all, and they have these little like dips to put all these little pieces in.
Right.
The problem is as soon as you turn this way,
Oh, that's falling.
everywhere.
I keep on.
Yeah. So this is what you had to do. You had to take this, throw it out,
Hit
hit the camera, bag all your stuff,
Yeah.
and that's what you have.
So
Which is
so
extremely
you can see
frustrating,
it at
which is just
home
empty boxes or empty bags inside the box. So when you're talking about something like this in the pit, I am very passionate because,
Yeah.
and look at this box is a horrible
Well, that's a lot of
design for
wasted
one.
space.
Right?
You're right.
I bet
Yeah,
I could
that's
probably
a
fit
lot
some
of waste.
expansions in there, right?
You could.
you could
You
fit
could
a couple
definitely.
games.
There you
Right.
go.
Great for traveling.
What's that?
Good
Oh, yeah,
job.
what was that thing where you could
the Russian doll?
Russian doll thing?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
in
the
here
scene's
for me.
perfect. I'm not gonna get up anymore, but I was gonna show a good example because Nemesis is mwah.
Oh, not only that, Nemesis is really good. But of course, those bigger box should be.
Yeah.
But even games like, gosh, what's it? The winter one. Endless Winter. Great put away, great takeout. They've got a ton of pieces in there. Easy setup, great takeout, great put away, and the price wasn't outrageously high for it.
That's fair. Yeah.
So there's a way you can. It maybe there's a cost point. I don't know how to do their job. I'm just telling. When I set this up on my shelf, it's gonna set like this, and look at the box. It's already gonna start. It's gonna the box here is already pulling apart, right? And it's going to do that. So I got to shove 2 games next to it because someone has to read Lords of Waterdeep because I have to put others. Probably.
I would say this in my experience. I think outside of Foundations of Rome, which for a big box games was fantastic, but I would actually say Unmatched for like a cheap, cost-effective game.
Yeah, they do
Unmatched has absolutely one of the greatest inserts I've ever seen because every dial has a place, every token has a place, every miniature has a place, the cards have a place. And I bought this thing on Kickstarter once so that way I could get rid of all these boxes and put them into like a cube thing.
Oh, fair.
But now I don't want to use the cube thing because the inserts are so perfect.
Right.
Like everything fits exactly like it's supposed to. I open the box. Everything is perfectly snug and secure. I take it out. I want to play this guy. Boom. Here's your stuff. We're playing within just a couple minutes.
Yep.
And that's, to me, that's worth a couple extra bucks. And that is a, depending on which set you get, a $20, $25 game.
It's the
I'm
same
willing
thing
to
with-
push the extra $10, $15, $20 more to make it a good insert. And I don't want to go buy it. Don't make me buy it aftermarket.
Yeah.
Include it in your damn game. And keep in mind that people are going to store them this way because they're made to do so in a sort of kind of display area. I do see a lot of people moving one box and then putting a bunch of boxes behind it, whatever. I still think that it should be displayed a certain way.
I agree. I also want to mention
See, he agrees.
Dice
So we've
Throne.
flipped
Dice
Shay on
Throne.
this.
It's also really
Very
good.
good. Yeah.
No. I am okay with games who comes with the inserts good. I'm not buying another insert.
Well, I'm not spending money on the outside.
Money
I don't want to
outside,
spend
no.
another 20. I'm not going to do that.
I'm
That's
not
silly.
gonna do that.
But just include it in, just when you're designing it.
Mhm.
And I got to give it out and to Jamie Stagmeyer and Stonemeyer Games. They keep that. That's one of the things I think they keep in mind. How are this going to be
Experience.
stored?
Experience.
How is this going
Package
to be?
design is critical.
But yeah,
It really
Viticulture
is.
does a really good job with that. I mean, how the put away, take away, the put out. It's all something to keep in mind. Is that going to hold it tight enough on your shelf?
Right.
Those are good things, and I
Brandon,
think those are
anything to add
important.
there?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
No, I'm
You,
good.
you look like you want to talk.
Yeah, you look like you're ready to.
I'm just getting my thoughts together for the next.
Oh, he's excited because we're going to move on, everybody, to, of course, this week's Game of the Week.
Pause. Who won the pit?
Oh, we obviously, it's
We
worth
did.
paying extra.
No, no. Wait, what? It's
worth
worth
paying
paying
extra.
extra?
I mean, you literally said I
You were wrong.
agree.
You
No,
agree?
I
Yeah, you
said
did.
I
You
agree
said
that
You
it should
agreed.
have.
Whoa,
insert-
rewind the tape.
Rewind the
Yeah.
tape.
Rewind the tape. You agreed.
Please. I mean, you don't have to rewind. That's more editing. But
So game of the week.
Game
Go
of
ahead.
the week.
Go ahead. We're in the game
Am I
of the
going to
week.
go first?
You got to let you go
I'm gonna
first. Yeah, we'll let you because you already said what it was.
Boy with me this week. All right, my game of the week. I couldn't even bring the whole box. Is this Behemoth? I am so excited about Succubus Publishing. I had a chance to meet the guy who is in charge of this at Gen Con, and it was fascinating to hear his stories. He was describing his journey building this game out. But Madara, Unintentional Malum Act 1, Act 2, and 3 are coming soon.
They couldn't fit it all in one box.
Well, there's just more story to tell. To put it mildly, this is another campaign game. Obviously, if you watch the channel long enough, you know I have a little bit of a soft spot for campaign games. I can't afford any more space or money for campaign games going forward. But this is a little bit kind of like a JRPG, the classic Japanese-style role-playing game. It's got that nice artwork of an animation type of game. The characters are very cartoonish and full of life and character and very unique looking. I haven't had a chance to play it a whole lot because I literally just got it. And in case you didn't know, I've had pneumonia. So,
Ding.
so I really haven't had a chance to play it a whole lot, but it showed up, pulled it out of the box, I did do the cardboard punch, which was a nightmare.
Yeah, because that's why you hate it.
I hate
Because you
it.
buy
Like
that
those games.
Yeah.
and then you're like, by the time you're done, you're like, job.
Well, I just
done.
got Youthia in the mail, and literally, like, one of the stacks of cardboards is like this. It's like, there's my
Yeah,
next
see,
month.
You need to buy smaller games that you can just enjoy the
Exactly.
punch and the reaction.
Right.
Yeah,
Just
well, I
the
don't.
vibe. Get some,
I don't.
get
That's
some
what you
lo-fi
need.
happening.
Don't get me wrong.
I
I don't
have a
get
playlist.
excited. I did when I punched Feast for Odin.
Oh,
By the time I was done with that, I was like, I don't even really want to play the game.
Yeah.
I punched this game,
There's
and
a lot
I'm
of
just kind of
cardboard in
like,
the game.
Shut your mouth. That game's amazing.
But
I was like, I don't really want to play this now
but
because
this
it took
was
forever to punch
this was the newest printing that they just did for it. Like I said, I think I backed this beginning of last year, and
Looks
it
beautiful.
finally just came out. Like I said, the art of it is absolutely stunning, and the reviews on this game are absolutely fantastic. So for a campaign game, it's very heavily well received, and looking forward to diving into it.
sweet.
Brandon, I'm going to jump over to you. I'm going to throw a little.
I've never even heard of Succubus. The fact that you backed them, that's amazing. I would be scared because
Well, the game itself had gotten tons of praise on the first printing, so I didn't go into this of just like, hey, I'll roll the dice on this. It was heavily recommended by a lot of content creators who had had a chance to play it quite a bit.
Were
And
they the same content creators that recommended the other one that fell apart on you?
sadly, yes, they were. I won't call them out, but yes.
We'll call them out.
Brandon,
Oh, so my game of the week is RPG called Bright Sword.
Ooh.
It's by DGS Games. And what's cool about it is that for all their Patreon subscribers of certain tiers, you will get additional content because just like Free Blades, it is a one-time purchase for the book. And every time they make updates or changes, new additions, everyone gets that free. So in order to recoup costs and keep making new content, they have the Patreon tiers. Lowest tier is $2 a month, I believe. Check me on that. I'll check that. But that gives you all the supplements and the additions in between new sets. But as you go up higher and higher in tiers, I have my own character who's canonically in there. So Kip, the bird person,
Nice.
is in the world. He'll come up in adventures. He's in the Nevedum area right now in the campaign, and I've got that my faction is just being written into the rule
Nice.
set. So
Congratulations on that. What I like about it, Bright Sword, is that you can take your freelancer from there into the actual play and get experience on both sides of the. Like they wrote that as like a rule set, right?
yeah, so the experience in Bright Sword, the AP that you gain, which makes your character get better, is a 1-to-1 translation to gold value in Free Blades. So you could take your free band, play it in a Bright Sword campaign, or play a character and then have that character go lead your free band in a Free Blades game.
To be a hero on the tabletop. You get to play through those experience and then take them right back into the Bright
if they
Sword.
die in your
Bright Sword.
tabletop game, do they die in the
Oh,
RPG though?
that's a good
Yes,
question.
Permadeath.
Yes.
Is it permadeath?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not permadeath.
That's
It's
all it was.
whatever you want.
Buy
Whatever,
more
whatever you're
minis.
into. I like that.
You
I'm
got to
not-
buy
yeah.
his cousin now.
Yeah.
Yeah, always to sell minis. So yeah, you gotta melt them down when they die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's,
Melt
that's
them
the,
down when
that's
they
the
die.
new way for Free Blades to grow is if you defeat somebody's enemy character, you got to smash it on the table.
Yeah, play for keeps. Pink
Yeah, that's
slips.
right. That's how this works.
And a
Necromode
lot of
style, right?
their stuff metal though. So I wouldn't want to smash unless I
Well, they're
had
now
like a-
resin now.
All the new stuff is Outcast.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
We get to melt it down, and then we make a medal of me beating the crap out of you. with Free Blades. That's buy a new army. Get good.
Get good.
Joe, what's yours?
Okay, so mine is also a campaign game. It's called Descent: Legends of the Dark.
playing that,
You've
yeah,
been a
yeah,
big
yeah.
fan of this one.
I have been playing that with my good old friend Eric. It is such a great game. Basically, it's like one of those like RPG fancies. You're in a place, you're the heroes of the place is getting filled. It's it's a campaign game. But what I love about it is that all the pieces are like they have like 24, probably even less than 24 floor things, tiles, and they have like trees and all that stuff. But the way that they configure, because it's all through app, and the way that they configure the exact same pieces over and over again for each mission,
Different dungeons.
oh,
It's
it
really
is
good.
so good. And luckily, because I don't buy external storage solutions, I just figure out other things. So I
didn't have a good storage solution in it. They're like that game's like $150 or something ridiculous.
the menus are good. But like
There's no storage solution.
There's no
for
storage
the,
solution for everything else.
Those
And
are
so-
like 3D landscapes.
So I just went to like not Marshalls. What's that?
TJ
Michael's.
Maxx?
I went to Michael's and they got little things. And actually, tip, you know those extra gum wrappers that had that little plastic tins or plastic boxes they put all the gum in? You can use those for car storage, and that's what I have. I have a whole bunch of that in the car storage. I got a printout that shows what kind of things are. But the point is, and it only costs all together, it was like a little over. I can't.
So you
remember.
are paying extra just in different little
Yeah.
silly stuff instead
Yeah.
of just buying
See,
a
he
full
is.
system.
I just not buying it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
buying.
Just
I'm
solidified.
not buying it from.
Solidified.
Not buying from folded spaces.
You lost.
I am not buying it.
Oh,
from,
so you're just against folded spaces?
No,
Got
I'm
you.
a guess. I am a.
I
Free
understand.
storage solution. You just got to buy $25 worth of gum.
Yeah, but it holds your cards. That's great.
You got me on that one. Yes, that I can't even
Burger
drop.
Token also has those too, Shay. We'll save you all the gum.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I want
He wants
like
the gum too. It's
Oh,
double. It's double.
no.
It's
It was
double-
nice.
double
It
trouble.
looked
Double
like,
trouble.
but you see how quick we put that game away and put it back.
No, I was.
Yes.
I said the other day, I was surprised it didn't have a storage solution because I've not played the game.
Right,
I played the old Descent second edition.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was good. They added the app, which is amazing. I'm old, so it's hard for me to go back to games after they've like, oh, we've done it better. Okay, whatever. I played it. It's good.
Yeah.
So I did. I walked in there in this massive like walk through. You had all of the tiles out, and it looked really cool. You had a big door there. I was like, this is pretty cool. And then you had it on the screen in there with the big how to set it up and how to take it down, whatever. And I thought that was pretty neat. And then I walked out and did something, come back in, and it was all cleaned up. And I was like, whoa, that was quick.
Yeah.
So you do have a good put away and take away system. It's just one that you've
Had
paid
to make
for
it.
with other
I
ways.
did it personally. Maybe that's the difference because I put the blood, sweat, and tears on. I didn't pay somebody else to do these fun
Maybe.
ones, and I know mine's fit.
Okay, well.
Dion, what's your game of the week?
Oh, my game of the week is done here. I got this at a convention we went to not too long ago called Wild Realms. The game it is done by Jeremy, Gulata. Wild Realms. Gulata. It's a card-based game, and you're trying to gain animal allies and fight against kind of each other and attack and defend your playmat. I mean, it is 1 to 4 players, so they do have a pretty cool, like, brave enough to go at it alone type of thing. This isn't open, but I did play it at a couple events I was at, and it will be opened here this Thursday when Shay opens it and plays with it.
Woo, woo.
But it does say really cool. This product is not a toy, not intended by use for people 3 years or younger, so that's important. But it's really cool. The art in it's really good. I mean, the animals you can see it, but nobody else really can that's watching. But the animals have really cool art on them. The guys who designed it actually follows us on Facebook as well, and we've had good discussions. And I highly recommend Wild Realms. Get your copy today at your friendly local game store.
All right. So some great games to check out this week. If you have any that you are a big fan of or you want to highlight, feel free to comment in the comments below and tell us what you are playing and enjoying as well. So with that, we're going to move on to our last segment of the show. Before we wrap up tonight, we're going to move on to Feet to the Fire. Let's pray that it goes better than last week. And with that, this week, Dion has been handed the reins. So Dion, take it away.
This week's Feet to the Fire for you guys. There's been a lot of talk around the shop about expansion
Okay.
and whether they're played or not based on even how much you like the real game, because you continue to go back and when you got to get a group together for a while, very similar to your campaign issues, right? So the Feet to the Fire is this. When purchasing a game, does expansions come into play with I have to have all of it just to have it? Or is it in the I just want to play the base game, see if I like it, then maybe buy an expansion, play that, then see if I like it, then buy the other expansion? Like, what's your thought process on expansions?
Who go first?
You.
Sweet. No, I'm not gonna buy no extra expansion
I did it. I'm sorry, I should've
until
never
I
asked you.
played
Never
it.
mind.
And then if I played it, yes, I'll buy the expansion. But I'm not gonna just be like, unless I like, for instance, a certain game. I'm not gonna say it again. I will buy anyone that came out of that, any expansion of that, because I played the base game still. So I played the base game. So no, still no.
I'm changing. I'm evolving on this. I'm a Pokemon here.
You mean
I'm
a pal?
evolving.
A pal.
You're a pal.
Yeah, that's the
That's the new thing.
They won't sue me.
They
okay?
won't sue
Yeah.
you.
No,
You're
they
a
won't sue you.
pal. You're a pal.
You're a
Yeah,
pal.
I'm a pal. I traditionally have always been I need everything. Completionist, addiction to completionism. I hate knowing that there's an expansion. Last Light's the last game I got that has an expansion that I didn't get, and it drove me nuts, and I haven't even really had a chance to play the game yet. I'm evolving just because I'm running out of space, and I'm tired of all the boxes, and I cannot physically move at this point because moving all of those boxes would be a nightmare. But historically, I would say I want them all. You know, we talked about this with Donald Schultz last week of, you know, do you delay buying the game or not? And the point you brought up, and it's so true, is but if you don't buy it when it first comes out in this Kickstarter world, you may never get the game. So
You never see it again.
Expansions are kind of the same way in that respect of like I buy it because if I like the game and I want the expansion, I'm going to be really frustrated when I can't get the expansion, especially games like I think of like Witcher, for example. Some of the things in Witcher really make the game more enjoyable from a solo player perspective, like just some of the additional cards and mechanics that change things up. And it's like, if I couldn't get those, knowing full well that they make the core game a better
But
experience.
you never know when you're purchasing them.
You don't, but that's what I'm saying, though, is that when you buy the core box and then you don't get the expansions to save the money because you don't need them, and then you find out that, oh, yeah, I have it, it makes the game way better, and now I want to go get it, and the only way I'm going to get it is if I pay $400 for a $50 expansion because they don't print them anymore. It's that, to me, is like, I'd rather just risk it, knowing full well that many games today that go through the Kickstarter world, you can sell for 3-4 times the cost.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I don't like it, I feel like there's still a lot of safety net of being able to unload the game.
Yep.
And I think
somewhere
it's
down
easier,
the road somebody's going to want it, right?
I feel like it's easier to unload a game when you can say it's the complete copy versus when it's the standard copy. Like Voidfall is a great example of the Galactic version costs like $150, $160 on Kickstarter, and now you cannot get the Galactic version of Voidfall for less than $450, $500 online. So again, back to that same thing of, did you need all of it? No. But if you got it all, you can sell it for $450, where if you bought the retail copy, maybe you'll get $100, $150 for it.
Brandon?
Okay, so I think I'm still on no, play it first, then do the expansion later if you like the game, because of Everdale. I liked Everdale. My wife and I thought that game was great. We got the expansion to put it up to 6 players. I don't think I'll ever do that again. Because you have so much fun in turns 1 and 2, and then turn 4 comes around, and 3 hours later, you're still in turn 4 because everybody's doing all this extra BS from every expansion. And then you're like, I really wish I could burn this tree to the ground. and I don't care who wins. I'm sticking this squirrel down someone's throat. But,
Or those new, like, mountable big characters that would hurt.
Look cool.
but that being said, I own Feast for Odin, and I can't find the Norwegians expansion anywhere.
Should have got it when it was available, because I had it here for a while, and then it was gone as quickly as I can get it.
Yeah, and I didn't know Feast for Odin was good until after it was the expansion was gone. But no one can find it anywhere. And I really wish I could have it, because every time Sleeveless Josh shows up with it, I really want it to just disappear and him to just find.
I'm kind of like you. I've evolved a bit because of the space that I have here and what I'm doing here locally. My problem is I've always, for my personal collection, wanted to buy everything. You know, when it comes out, I want the base, every little thing I can get with it, because I don't know when I can find it again. And I like weird games like My Father's Work that isn't readily available at your friendly local game store usually. So if that would have came out with like 3 more expansions, I would have easily bought 3 more, like throw it in the back of the truck, let's go, because I was so excited about that game. When and if I do Kickstarters, I want everything that's included in it, because again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the mat, which I talked about it a couple times tonight, but the Masters of the Universe game with the mat is amazing. The Box of Power is impossible to find now unless you do the new Kickstarter. You know, so I feel like I have to have that stuff, and that's important to that game because gives you different characters to play. But even if games that I don't even know, like if I walk by, for instance, I know Quaxaqueldingburg, but for instance, I'm the kind of guy that goes, oh, Quetzalcoatlingburg big box, I'll get that because it has everything in it, and I don't have to worry about getting individual, it has everything I want. And if I want to grow along with the game, I will. If not, I've still got it all, and to me, to resell it with everything in it's worth more.
Yeah.
However, had to take a big step back because I constantly teach games, and teaching the games, I don't get the chance to get into the other extra content, or I never get to open the content and add it in. And also space. Now the store policy here is I buy the base. If you like it, buy the original and the expansions. Because take it home and enjoy it, or buy the expansions and play it here with my base copy. I'm okay with that too, but I just don't have the space to carry 20 Dominions on my shelf that has, I just don't have that kind of space. So extra space available. So
you run into the little fear of the Dwellings of Eldervale, like we talked about before, of having a box with empty spaces. You gotta have it. Gotta have that whole box filled. Well, because I have that with like Scythe, our friend of the show, Jamie Stagmeyer. Scythe and Viticulture. I bought their big boxes, and there's that completionist to have all of the boxes filled up with all the different expansions, because I have every expansion for every one of those games. So.
Well, I'm also running into a lot here, and I've been doing this more and more to where I can fit the entire expansions into the box. Even though I can't, if you're new and you're opening it and you're trying to learn it, you're going, what is all this extra crap? So I don't want to confuse the people, that are new looking at it, and I'm not there holding their hand that day because I'm off, or, somebody else is running the shop. So I'm having a problem with, do I actually go through with it, or do I put all the stuff back in the box and set the box there, but I need the space, so I'll put it inside the box. Kind of fighting with that right now. Those are like my biggest fights. But yes, to feed on the fire moment, if I had to pick, I would say absolutely I'd buy it and buy it all. I just kind of wanted to see how you guys felt about that situation.
So with that, I think I'd love to hear the comments of everybody out there. Tell us what you think. Do you buy just the base, or do you feel like you have to go all in right out of the gate? Are you tiptoeing into the shallow end, or you just cannonballing into the deep, cold ocean? So with that said, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
As always.
Yes.
Brandon, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
As it has been.
Trying to become more gentlemanly.
Yeah, you're working really hard at that.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to get to the finish line here.
I don't know if you heard this, but you had pneumonia last week.
I still have pneumonia. We had to pause this video a few times so I could cough. All right, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Everybody out there, never forget, no matter where you're at, champions never stop playing.
See, I would have said it last time, but you don't have it written down, so I couldn't remember.